My name is Jenna Caravello, and I go to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. I want to be a luthier. I want to apprentice for somebody. It's called the Celloharp, and my idea was to make an auto harp that sounded more like a guitar, because I really hate the kind of cling sound that an auto harp usually has, because it's really like some strings tacked onto a 2x4. So I wanted to give an auto harp a guitar body, but I made it a little more dulcimer shaped because I like that shape. And then I was thinking maybe I might want to bow it. Thinking up the idea to use a cello tailpiece and a cello bridge. So I used that design and made the pieces based on the cello, so I call it the Celloharp. It started out as a hurdy-gurdy. I wanted to make a bowable hurdy-gurdy and without drone strings. So that's the way it started out, with a hand crank that came out the side right here so that you'd crank it. And then my other idea was to make a foot pump for the hurdy-gurdy. So I was working for weeks on like figuring out how to make this wheel go around with an up and down kind of like bass drum pedal, which didn't work very well. And to save time, I decided, I guess, instead to make an auto harp. And to save time, again, I took away the auto part and just made a harp. So it's tuned chromatically so that anyone who can play a harp can play it. It's got 20 strings. Bending the wood for the sides, I just couldn't figure out how to make a heating pipe. So instead, I made a mold in the same way that you'd make a classical guitar, and laid veneers inside the mold and glued them up. I have 5 layers of veneers making up the sides, and they're pretty strong, so I didn't even have to worry about bending the sides. They're made of mahogany, so mahogany veneers, it's mahogany plywood, I guess. I guess it's not a problem.
Okay.
I think it sounds pretty nice. The bridge broke 7 times. Every single time I built it with the grain going in a different direction, and every time it broke, and this time it's doing okay. This time the grain's going diagonally to the right, whereas it broke when it went diagonally to the left. I don't even know. This is maple, the back and the neck are maple. This is mahogany. This is jatoba, which is a hardwood. And this is cedar. I based it off of a guitar, so the wood choice for the backs of guitars and the sides are usually maple, because they're a little denser and the sound kind of bounces off the back and then comes forth. And the tops are usually made of spruce in guitars, but cedar can work too because it's very porous.
Okay.
I think I'd definitely use spruce next time, because the cedar, really for the longest time before I lacquered it, if you just touched it with your fingernail, it would just dent right away. It was really a pain. The neck is very heavy because of all the jatoba up here. It's just a really heavy wood, and then I've got a giant block of maple right here. So it's really heavy over there and not over here, which was a problem because I put the neck on before I put the back and the front on. So the sides were actually bending and warping anytime I'd pick it up. So I had to get them back and front on really fast. It also has a lot to do with tuning it. It's such a pain to tune. You have to tune the 10th string first, and then the 11th string, and then the 9th string, and then the 12th string, and then the 8th string. But actually, the way I did it was I tightened the 10th string while my friend tightened the 9th string at the same time. And and then I ended up tightening the 20th string and the 1st string, and went back and forth from the middle to outside to the middle to outside, because it's balanced on this tailpiece fastener right here, which actually belongs to a cello. And that means that this part is really free. It just kind of hangs. And so anytime you tighten something over here, the tailpiece actually shifts. So you had to, you know, get it completely. It was such a pain. I've been tuning it for 3 days. I think I would make a fixed tailpiece. I think I would, somehow.